Are you feeling the calling to start or grow a business that is so aligned with you and everything that makes up who you are? Do you know that there has to be a way to do this without so much hustle and without chasing the latest shiny object, but you're just not sure how? You can definitely have a dream business that improves, not consumes your life, that allows you to work with soulmate clients while helping you and your family financially and in all ways. You can elevate yourself to be the entrepreneur who has all of her desires. I'm going to show you how on the Elevated Femmes movement. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Fit Femmes movement. Today I'm joined by Tara Gallagher, and I'm so excited to chat with her and hear a little bit more about her journey of how she left her traditional corporate 9-to-5 job and then became an entrepreneur. And I think stories like this, like Tara's, are very important to share because, as you guys know, I left my 9-to-5 and I've had my own journey of being an entrepreneur, and I've dabbled in a few different things too. So I feel like Tara's story is a little bit similar to mine, and I think that you guys will get a lot of value and inspiration from hearing her. So if you're new to the podcast, I'm so excited. I'm so glad to have you joining us for this episode. And I hope that you take a moment to check out some of the past ones. But yeah, we talk everything from well-being to business and just all the ways that you can create a life and a business that just feels so good to you, where you don't have to work so hard, but you can just work smarter to really create that vision for you. And podcasting is one of my favorite ways to get visible and to grow my business. So you get to kind of see how that works for me as well. So Tara, I'm just going to let you do your full introduction, Tara. But like I said, Tara, she had a 9-to-5 and then had a family and wanted to have some more time freedom. So she decided to try one business, and then that led to other things. But I'm going to hand it off to Tara and let her tell you guys everything about everything that she's experienced.
So firstly, Julia, thank you so much for having me as your guest on your podcast. I really do appreciate it, and I'm so grateful to be here. So my name is Tara Gallagher, and I'm a wife and mum of 2 kids. Amy is 12 and Owen is 10. And yes, my background is I was an accountant. And once my kids were born, we moved. So we both worked and lived in Dublin, which is obviously the capital of Ireland, but we live in rural Ireland. So we live 3.5 hours from Dublin. So we decided that we would move back home whenever Amy was born. And because of that, there was a whole downturn and everything like that. So there was no real jobs for me here. So I decided that I would be at home, and then Owen came along quite quickly afterwards. So I spent 3.5 years being at home with the kids, which I loved, and I definitely would not turn back the clock. I would still do that again. But, coming up to the 3.5 years, I was getting very itchy and wanting to get back to work because I was always very independent, really ambitious and career driven. And I was just crazy to get back to work. So I went back to work in the May of actually 2013. Can't believe it's that long ago, actually. And was really loving it. When you start something new anyways, you're excited by it, and it's a new routine, and it's, everything's new and it's all wonderful.
Totally.
But a couple of months into that, never mind a couple of months, probably a good 18 months to 2 years into that, it was becoming really difficult going to a full-time job with 2 small children. And I distinctly remember one of the days I went into work, and it was a beautiful sunny day. And, if you know Ireland, and if you know the northwest of Ireland, you will know that those days are definitely few and far between. And I remember sitting at my desk and thinking to myself, is this my life? Is this what I'm going to have to do until the day that I retire, 30, 40 years down the line? Rushing in the morning to get the kids up to school, rushing to work, putting the kids into a creche that Owen cried every morning I put him into. And I was paying somebody else to have fun with my children, to do the fun things, to be able to go to the beach with them, to be able to, cook the meals and do their homeworks with them and all of those things. And I remember thinking there has to be something better to life than this. And there was, and I was sitting on it. So just before I had gone back to work full time, I came across an incredible product. It was through network marketing, and I was asked to join the team at the time. And I initially said no because I was like, I don't have time, so on and so forth. But I did join it, but very much treated it as a hobby. But it was still wonderful because it was helping me pay for my crash fees and so on every single month. So I decided that I would give up my accountancy career totally, like completely leave a corporate job, safe, income, and go out and, be my own boss essentially. And so that's what I done. So 6.5 years ago, I gave up that job and I went into network. I was in network marketing, like I'm in it now almost 9 years. Sorry, over 9 years now. But at that point, it was just I was in it for 3 years, very much treated as a hobby, but I decided it was time to take it very serious and be able to be at home for my kids, for this, the school activities, for the after school activities, for, enjoying them on sunny days, being able to take them to the beach and so on and so forth. So that's what I done. And so many people thought I was absolutely crazy, because they're like network marketing is a whole like new thing. And it's like, especially, 6.5 years ago, it's like, oh, you're crazy. But I worked part-time at that because obviously I'm still a full-time mom, always, no matter what's going on anywhere else. And I, a number of years ago, I hit a really incredible promotion within that business. But as soon as I hit that promotion, it was like this crazy imposter syndrome kicked in. And it was like these thoughts like, you're not good enough. You didn't deserve that promotion. You didn't work hard enough. And all of these crazy thoughts kept flooding in. So I done the only thing that I knew what to do in order to make things better. We're always told, work harder, work harder. Let's put in some more work. So I did. And I sacrificed time with my family, events, different things. And I almost became slightly obsessed. And I would barely even leave the house because I was like, oh my God, but I can't because I've got this to do and I need to do this and I need to do that. And I thought working harder was the answer. But you know what? That was actually having the complete opposite effect to my business. My business was starting to fall and fall and fall. And I was getting to a point, I was like, I don't know what to do because physically, mentally, I cannot give anymore. I was at my limit and, had that real burnout. And, after about 1.5 years of watching your like everything you worked for completely just fall backwards and backwards and backwards, I'm like, I don't know what to do because all I ever knew what to do in order to fix something was work harder, but that wasn't working. So I questioned everything about me. Was I good enough? Was I ever going to be successful? Maybe I should just go back and do a 9-to-5 job and just whatever, because obviously I'm not meant to be an entrepreneur. Okay. And that was when I came across Bob Proctor's, one of Bob Proctor's coaches. And I started a year-long program with PGI. And I have to say, before that, I've been doing personal development since I started my network marketing business. But this was different because I had a mentor. And that was the absolute game changer for me. And what I realized was it didn't matter if I worked every single second of every single day. I had this programming, like we all do, that was keeping me exactly where I was. We would get a certain income, and no matter what would happen in a year, it would go over slightly or under slightly, and it would never go above that. It was because of the programming that I had, and it's called we all have a self-image, and it's the way that we truly, truly see ourselves deep down within. And I realized that there was nothing wrong with me. Working hard is not always the answer, because if you're working harder in the wrong direction, it's never going to work. And also in anything that we do, it's 95% mindset and 5% strategy. So doing that mindset course literally changed the game for me, not only in my business at the time, but with my family. Like the difference in my family life and my relationships and everything has, done a whole 360. And I remember, was teaching my network marketing team all of what I was learning. And I could see the difference in them. I could see the growth in them. I could see themselves starting to believe in themselves and starting to think, oh, I can do this too. And I one day, about 18 months ago, said, I have got to do this on a bigger scale. So that's why I decided then to really go all in with this. And, now I'm a certified mindset consultant, and I help women from all over the world really, create more freedom in their life and in their business so they can earn more whilst working less, having that time with their family, not having to work hard, and giving them hours back in the week. And I just love it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's so wonderful to hear a story of a woman who just trusted that inner calling, that intuition. And, you said, no, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way that is more aligned. And I was in a similar place. I was in a 9-to-5 job. My story was I would work at a job, work my little behind off so that I could get that promotion, then be like, oh my God, all that work for this,
Is this
and
it?
then, yeah, it would be like, and then eventually, you get stuck because there's, in my field, it was, there were a lot of men in my department. So it's like, oh, there's a guy, and I definitely, he's blocking me from that next step. And I realized when I was pregnant, I was like, I don't know if I want to go back to this, even though I actually enjoyed my work. I enjoyed what I was doing, and I enjoyed the people that I worked with and all that. And it was actually that job, the one that I left, that was the best job that I've had, because prior to that, I hated every job I've had. Just, it was like just about getting the paycheck. Like, it was like, all right, I just gotta suck it up and hope that there's I'll find something better. But when I experienced our entrepreneurship, I was like, this is it. This is the thing that I'm actually meant to be doing. This is why none of those things worked out. It was because I was meant to find this. And it was just like, oh my goodness. And it made everything okay, because I realized that everything has led me to where I am now. And even now, I've changed my own career, my own business over the past few years. And again, it's about that evolution of being an entrepreneur and trusting my intuition and realize, having that awareness now of okay, if I'm having, I guess in my case, it wasn't really burnout, but if I'm having a lot of that, just stress or overwhelm, where is it really, is it something that I want to work through, or is it a sign that it's okay, I need to figure out what else is out there. And I think that, like you said, having a mentor is so crucial, because when we're trying to deal with all this alone, it's hard. I mean, it's really, really hard. We want to stay safe. We want to stay comfortable. So it's really hard to get out of our comfort zones. So when you were making that decision to leave your 9-to-5, you had your little kids, and you were an accountant, so you were making probably a decent income, right? How long did it take you to decide to make that big leap? What was kind of the process for you to make that decision? Walk us through a little bit of what you went through.
Yeah, it didn't actually take me long, because I just knew. I was like, no. I think sometimes you just know, it's very hard to describe. You just know. And I was like, I don't want to this is and I always thought growing up that I would have, I always envisioned having my own business, but I thought it would be something to do with accountancy. I never never thought it would, like with my network marketing business, it was in the health and wellness space. And now like it's in like the mindset, personal development, human success and, progression and stuff. I never once dreamed it would be that. But I just remember thinking, it's almost that like feeling of like being, I wasn't even caged in essentially, but it was like, you're in an office, you're not speaking to anybody, throughout the day. And I'm like, no, this isn't for me anymore. This is, and, just as you said, like, I am so grateful for every experience, for everything that I've gone through. Like, and I remember when I was going through that time when my business was falling, like literally, like that was soul destroying, like totally soul destroying. I lost my confidence. I lost my self-esteem. I lost so much because of that. But I'm so grateful for that storm because it literally has led me to where I am today. And everything, if you only just accepted this thought today on this call, everything is happening for us, not to us.
Yeah.
And it's having that mindset shift that really, like, honestly, it changes the game for you. And I remember going back, like we made a huge decision as a family last year as well, last October. And I remember after making the decision, like these things, like it was like one thing after another was seemingly going wrong. And I was like, what is going on here? But at the same time, I was like, I don't know why this is happening. All I know is this is happening for us.
Yeah.
And like, even though like one of the instances was where my daughter actually fainted and fell out of the shower and like had to get stitches underneath her, but that was just one of this literally was 2 or 3 things on the one day. And I was like, what is going on here? But it's in those moments that you say, you know what? I don't know what's going on here, but everything's happening for me, not to me. There's a lesson in everything. So even having that like mindset shift is completely imperative. But back to your question, no, it didn't take me long. And I just reached that point where I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just knew deep down in my heart, and I followed my heart, I followed my gut, even though it was scary. Don't get me wrong, like it was scary leaving behind like a really nice income that was guaranteed every single month to like, going to having your own business where you're just like, you don't know what's going to happen month to month, but I can tell you it has been hands down one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life.
Amazing. And let's talk a little bit about the concept of creating more freedom, right? Because like you said, you went from, so you made that big decision to quit your job, and then you started your network marketing business. So essentially you did create freedom, right? But then until you got to that place again. So to you, what does freedom mean? And when you're working with someone with mindset and with, everything that you do, like, how do you help them? I guess tell us a little bit about like how you help someone. I'm thinking more like, how do you help them maybe think about their vision? So if they're looking to do something, whether it's start a business or transition to a new job, a new career, how could they make sure that they're like aligned with it, and so that they're finding the thing that's essentially going to give them that freedom that they want?
Yeah. So like freedom means different things to every single person. So like for one person, freedom might be getting an extra day back in the week. For somebody, it might be, to be able to work around the kids and, do whatever you want when you want. And my definition of freedom is literally the ability to do what you want, when you want, where you want, and with who you want. Like that is my definition of freedom. And, how do I help people, really, really get that freedom? Well, number one, we've got to get them really crystal clear on what it is that they want. Okay. And just saying I want freedom is not enough. Like, what does freedom mean to them? Is it, is it the extra day in the week? Is it 2 days extra in the week? Is it the full week? Like really getting down and why they want that, and getting them emotionally attached to that goal. Because becoming emotionally attached to your goal is absolutely imperative to achieving your goal, because it's our feelings that set up the vibration in our body, and it's the vibration in our body that actually dictates what we attract to us. So if we are always thinking about what we want, we're going to be in a good vibration, so we're going to start attracting everything that we need for the fruition of that goal, whether that be in the form of an idea, a hunch, somebody coming into our life, that's going to help us, get to that point. Whereas likewise, if you are thinking about what you don't want, which is what most people, which is what the majority of people are actually doing, they're actually thinking about all the things that they don't want, about all the things that could go wrong, and so on and so forth. And when they impress that upon their subconscious mind, and they become emotionally involved with that, then that sets the body up into a negative vibration. So you are going to attract, like the law of attraction, it doesn't care what you put out there. Okay, what we focus on grows, and what we give energy to, we're going to get back, and what we put out, we're going to get back. So we're putting out negative, bad feelings, we're going to get more of that back. So we're either not going to get any results, or things are going to happen to us that we don't want to happen to us. Like maybe you might lose some income or whatever. Okay, there's obviously loads of things. So number one is really getting crystal clear on what it is that you want, because we all have an internal GPS system, okay, just exactly like our cars. But in order for that to work, you've got to feed it with a destination, the same way we feed the car's GPS system with a destination. And when we move off the street, and when we take action on our own goals, we're going to get ideas and thoughts, and we take inspired action based on those thoughts, okay? The second thing would be to really get down to what's the story you're telling yourself? Are you going off the old story? Oh, I can't do this because, and I can't do that because my kids are too small. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the help. Guys, the truth is you won't need any of that unless you make that irrevocable, committed decision that you are going to do whatever it takes to achieve your goal. And that doesn't mean working all the hours of the day. That doesn't mean having to, hard graft all of the time. It does not mean that at all. It just means that you have to, say yes to everything that's in alignment with your goal, and saying no to anything that's not going to take you closer to that goal. And that does take a little bit of discipline. And that's the part that the mentor can help you with, because yes, do you need a mentor? Technically, no, but it speeds up the process. So what might take you 5 or 10 years, a mentor can help you squeeze into 6 months to a year. So I don't know about you, but I definitely want to get there as quickly as I can and achieve my goals as quickly as I can. I don't want to wait. I want it done yesterday, but we do have to wait. So really helping you as well to identify what that old story is, and to release and remove those limiting beliefs, because they were formed there throughout your whole life. So just overnight, during a week or a month, you're not going to be able to create new beliefs. You're going to have to identify what the old ones are, and then rather than fight against them, you want to build new beliefs that are going to make the old ones then obsolete. And then there's obviously loads of different things we go through, like your self-image, fear, behavior, and making sure that your beliefs and your behavior are in alignment, and so on and so forth. So there's so much in it. But my main tips would be, number one, get crystal clear on what it is that you want. Number two, really identify what's the story you're telling yourself as to how you can't. Number three then is, keeping your attitude in check, because remember what I said earlier, your attitude is the mixture of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So if you're thinking about what you want, you're getting emotionally involved with that, you're getting excited by that. So you're going to set yourself up into a really great vibration. So you're going to start attracting to you everything that you need for the fruition of that goal. Whereas if you're thinking about if you're thinking thoughts of the things that you don't want, about the things that could or might go wrong, then you're becoming emotionally involved with those thoughts. So that sets your body up in a negative vibration, and therefore you're not going to get the results that you want. And then the last thing that I would definitely highly recommend is visualizing. That is going to catapult your success. But again, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. And it's really important to have that accountability. for you to be able to follow through with that until it becomes a part of your new belief. And yeah, so that would definitely be my top tips there.
Love them. I think that they're definitely things that everybody could gain to, or they could definitely use that to gain some more empowerment. Definitely. I feel like empowerment and confidence to be able to accomplish whatever it is that they want to accomplish. Do you have a favorite Bob Proctor book? I just actually started learning more about Bob Proctor in the past year. I feel like I'm like a unicorn because I feel like everybody, like, who's Bob Proctor, like a year ago. And so do you have a favorite book of his that you would recommend?
Yeah, so there's one that he brought out, I think it was last year. It's called Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. And like, I actually have the book version and I also have the Audible version, but I love the Audible version because it's done very much like a chat. He's talking to this other guy and it's more like an interview style. And I just love the way that it's done. So on Audible, so Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life. There's also another phenomenal book that was by Bob, and it's You Were Born Rich. Brilliant, fantastic book as well. So those would be my top 2 books.
Awesome. I'll have to look those up.
Yeah.
Well, Tara, thank you so much for coming on to chat with me today. I'm so glad that you were able to share a little more about your story and just some of your golden nuggets of, how you help someone and all that. So if anyone is interested in learning more about you, where can they connect with you and reach out to you?
Yeah, so I have a Facebook group. It's called the Mindset Project, and in there, like, I will share like weekly tips and trainings and things like that. And like the group as well is full of loads of incredible, mostly females. There are some males in there, but it's mostly females. And it's always a really great group to be part of. And it's one thing I would say as well is be mindful of your environment. Because if you're in an environment where you're being told you're not good enough and, oh, don't be so silly, that's a silly goal or that's a silly dream, then you're not very likely to achieve your goal, okay? You are the average of the 5 people that you spend your most time with. You want to find an environment where you are encouraged, where you are inspired, where you are, almost given permission to dream the biggest dream and fantasy that you possibly can, because the very fact that you want something means that you can have it. And that want is coming from the true essence of who you truly are. So just make sure that your environment is building you up and encouraging you and supporting you and inspiring you.
I love that. What a great way to wrap this up with that such positive message there from Tara. So guys, let this all sink in and think of the takeaway. Think of one takeaway that you have received today, and go out there and implement. And if you need guidance, reach out to Tara. If I can help you with anything, reach out to me. But we want to see more people out there following their dreams and taking action towards those dreams. So Tara, thank you so much for coming on today. And for you guys listening, thank you. And I hope that you come back to check out another episode. So bye everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Elevated Femmes movement. I would love to hear your thoughts on the podcast, so please leave us a review. If you know someone who could benefit from the episodes on the show, please share it with them. We need more women elevating to their highest potential, enjoying all the great things in life, having plenty of time freedom for their children and loved ones, while growing a business that improves, not consumes, their life, and doing things in a smarter, not harder way. To connect with me and download my free resources, please go to www.juliamhickman.com.